Okay, so here we go. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get ourselves sort of grounded into this space first. So shifting the body a little bit, just kind of moving around and getting a sense of where you're sitting. I always like to start by paying attention first to my feet on the ground. So if you're laying down, that's okay. Maybe bringing your attention to the bottom of your feet. For those of you who are sitting, it's nice to sit with the feet grounded. Okay. And just getting a sense of the contact between the bottom of your feet and the ground. Really getting a sense of the support and the ability to let go of any weight that you might be holding on to. The ground has that support under your feet. And as we move up the legs, if you're lying down, you might start to bring your awareness to how the chair or bed that you're lying on holds the weight of your legs. And moving up to your bottom and how you're sitting on the chair and getting a sense again of the contact between yourself and the chair. And anywhere where you might be consciously holding your weight, I want you to let it settle into the chair. Really getting a sense of how that chair is supporting all of your weight. And there's no efforting required on your part. You can let go, holding up the body. Then you might get a sense of how your back is resting against the chair that you're sitting on or the table that you're lying on. And again, really consciously letting go. Letting your body sink back against that seat, back against that chair. Any extra efforting that you might be putting in, we're going to let go of now. And once you've got your body settled in, we're going to just take a minute or two to bring our attention to our breath. And again, nothing to do here, nothing to change. We're going to move into the role of observer. And really with every in-breath and every out-breath, observing how the body moves and shifts to respond to the air coming in and leaving the body. On the in-breath, the body expands and opens. And on the out-breath, it releases and softens. This gentle rhythm of the breath, bringing us into this moment. Bringing us into fluid movement. And setting the intention for this meditation that we're going to spend some time nurturing ourselves, softening our bodies, giving ourselves some love and some compassion. And after one more slow breath in and breath out, I want you to imagine now creating with your mind a beautiful ball of light off in the distance. Okay. Okay, it might start out as a small spark of light, maybe the size of a tennis ball off in the distance. And I want you to imagine this ball of light, a ball of healing and love, off in the distance. It might feel separate from us at this moment, but we're going to start to bring our attention to this light. And with every in-breath, I want you to imagine that light starts to glow a little bit brighter. And with every out-breath, it starts to grow and expand just a little bit bigger. Inhale brightens, exhale expands. Inhale, it brightens, exhale, it expands. And as it grows and expands, you're going to notice that this ball of light out in front of you that at one point felt separate from you is now growing and expanding to the point that it's on the edge of expanding to the point where it envelops your body. So inhale and then exhale and let that glowing ball of light expand again until it envelops your body, standing on the edge of that light. And giving a moment to feel that transition as this ball of light, this ball of love, now has moved past and around you. And feeling that moment of transition as your body now steps into this light. And from within this light now, getting a sense of this softness that starts to take over the body. Getting a sense of how gravity has changed as you step into this space and into this light. And as you keep breathing and that ball of light keeps expanding further and further in all the directions around you, with your body now standing within this ball of light. And with curiosity now, and with gentleness, I want you to take a look around at what it feels like and what it looks like to be within this ball of wholeness, this ball of love, this ball of light. Looking forward, and as far as you can see now, you're enveloped by this light and this wholeness. And maybe looking to your right and getting a sense now that this light is surrounding you in all directions. Looking up, looking around, and every direction you look, as far as your eyes can see now, you are enveloped by this light, this wholeness, this frequency of love, this frequency of healing, this frequency of compassion, this frequency of forgiveness. And with curiosity, and maybe a little bit of playfulness and joyfulness, I want you to start imagining yourself moving through this space. Feeling your body that once maybe felt heavy and restricted, starting to soften, starting to move within and around this space of light with curiosity, with playfulness. And imagining maybe as you put your hand out in front of you and drawing your hand through this light surrounding you in all directions, maybe it ripples like phosphorescence in the ocean. Maybe this light shifts with your hands. And I want to take a moment in this space of lightness, in this space without restriction, to tap into that playful, joyful, childlike curiosity of movement. And can you imagine in this space of wholeness, in this space of light, where your body is shifting from form and density to light, starting to move around in this space. Maybe you notice yourself twisting and turning. Maybe you notice yourself gliding like you're on figure skates, turning and pirouetting. Letting go of any restrictions you might have placed on yourself to be rigid or constricted. We're just going to take a minute in this space to move, to shift. Checking in with your body and the softness of your body. Get a sense of your eyes. Are they soft and curious? Are you feeling light and moving? Maybe there's a little smirk on your face as you've jumped into the air and tried a ballerina-like pirouette. In this safe space, in this space without judgment or constriction, can you move gently? Floating like a leaf on the air, moving like wind. Softness, playfulness, joy, without judgment. And as you move through this infinite space of light and wholeness, as the light brushes against you and moves around you, I want you to start to notice now, again, how the density of your form starts to soften, that the light now moves through and around you, that maybe now as you're moving through this space of light, you notice the light start to move and shift through the body. A body that once felt heavy and dense, now light and porous, welcoming this energy of wholeness. The boundaries between the edge of your body and this space of love and healing softening and allowing this healing light, allowing this loving space to start to move in and through the body. And as you move through this space, this loving light that you're now dancing and moving with and shifting with and softening with is starting to shift through any densities or any pains that may have been present in the body before shifting into this space. Shifting any illness into wellness. Shifting any dis-ease into ease. Shifting any fear into peacefulness. Shifting any anger into forgiveness. And really welcoming this love and welcoming this healing as you move through this space. Trusting and inviting those frequencies into the body, into any densities, and releasing. And again, moving like light through this space. We're going to come back to the breath again. From within this space of wholeness and in this space of healing and light and joy that now again envelops us in all directions as far as we could see. The sense of wholeness and connection. I want you now to recognize that within this space of creation and light, within this space of peacefulness and joy, that we can now, from this light and from this space, bring thoughts into form. And from this space, I want you to imagine now, bringing to your mind's eye, asking you to join you in this space, the image of a butterfly. And with your thoughts and with your creativity, starting to materialize and bring to form this image of a butterfly floating around this space with you. Using your thoughts and intention. Watching as this beautiful butterfly that you've created with your thoughts within this space of wholeness floats around softly and gently. Through this space. And with love, with curiosity, watching how it moves gently, just like you were, floating through this space. And then gently releasing that butterfly back into the light, watching as it moves back and dissolving back into the light until you're back again in this space of wholeness, in this space of light in all directions. A clear canvas, really, to create yet another image with your thoughts. And I want you now to bring to your mind a flower with curiosity, in as much detail as you'd like to. Maybe this flower blooms from the ground, or maybe it's already full as it appears to you in your mind's eye. Coloring it in, maybe with blues or purples, maybe some yellows. From this space of wholeness and creation, where your thoughts can create any form. This beautiful flower. And then with a smile and some gentleness, we're going to release that flower back into the light and watch as it sort of dissolves and releases back into this wholeness, where all things can be created from. What I'll ask you to do now from the space of love and compassion, healing light, is bring someone to mind. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member. And bringing them to your mind's eye, bringing them into this space of healing and light. And observe as they come into this space, this frequency. And offering them a smile and observing their smile. And choosing to see them in light. And maybe this person is going through a difficult time, or maybe this person is in this wonderful, joyous space. But recognizing that in this space of wholeness, in this space of loving frequency, in this space of healing frequency, we're going to give ourselves permission to see them through the light of wellness. And in this space of healing. And maybe you can imagine a smile on their face. And maybe you can imagine, just like we were, that they now start moving and shifting, letting go of the weight and the burden that they may be carrying in their life right now. And choosing to perceive them through the light of this healing space. Choosing to see them through the light of this peaceful space. Giving ourselves permission to see them surrounded by light and surrounded by healing. As this light moves around and through them, softening them, bringing healing to them. And there's this recognition that there's nothing for you to do but invite them into this space. Nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to change. Welcoming them into this space of wholeness, this space of peacefulness, this space of healing. And letting this space move for them and shift for them. And taking a nice soft breath and thanking them for joining us today. And with a smile, releasing them back into that light. Watching as they shift into that peacefulness and shift into that love, until once again you're standing in this infinite space of light, this blank canvas of creation, surrounded in all directions. And we're going to take some time now to do a practice of release within this space. And I want you to imagine now or create an altar or a table in front of you. And this altar or table can be as big as you'd like it to be, or start out as small as you'd like it to be, but bringing to your mind's eye this table or altar, and maybe it's made of wood or maybe it's made of stone. Getting a sense of this altar in front of you, this table in front of you. And now we're going to take a couple minutes and we're going to start to place on that altar and place on that table anything we'd like to let go of. Anything we're ready to release back into the light. So I want you to start imagining yourself, and I'm just going to explain this and then I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes and let you really take the time to place on this table all of those things you'd like to let go of. Nothing too big or too small. Maybe it's a person you place on that table. Maybe it's a Visa bill. Maybe it's a pain in your body. And you can even imagine yourself, if there's a pain in your body, someone scooping that up and placing it on the altar. Okay, so just taking a couple minutes, anything you can think of that you'd like to place on this table or this altar, what you're ready to let go of your attachment to. It can be a worry, it can be an emotion. It doesn't have to be something tangible that you can see, but placing it all on that altar. And now one more slow, deep breath. And what we're going to do now, taking the slow breath, is we're going to add to this altar. We're going to add to this table all of those things that we so desperately want in our life right now. All of those things that we're searching for, all of those things that we want to achieve or obtain. All of those things we really are attached to bringing into our life. And I want you to start placing all of those things onto your table or altar. And being gentle with yourself and knowing that there's a possibility you might feel resistant to placing these things on this table, and that's okay. in this space of wholeness and love and safety, in this space without any judgment, placing all of those things now that you so desperately want. Maybe it's a place that you want, maybe it's a car, maybe it's material things. That's okay, place them all on there. Put them onto that table. Handing them all over to the table, and you might start to notice that table is getting bigger and fuller. All of these things that we're attached to wanting, all of these things that we're attached to not wanting, that we're carrying with us, that hold space in our minds, that maybe hold space in our bodies. With one or two last breaths and finishing up, placing those last couple things. And then taking a little step back from the table. Giving yourself permission to observe this table. And maybe now it's blurry. Maybe you don't even recognize now all the things that you've placed on the table, and that's okay. And from this space of wholeness, from this space of love, from this space of healing and wellness, from this space of light, where we've placed all of these things from thought into form on this table, we're gently going to release this altar, this table filled with all these attachments. We're going to release them into this light of wholeness. Softly, with love, watching as they start to dissolve. All these things, all these attachments. And giving ourselves permission to see that they're dissolving into the same space of wholeness, into this same space of possibility, into the same space of light. And breathing with this release. And watching with a smile as it releases to the same light that you are standing within. Recognizing that all things exist within this same space of wholeness. The space of creation and healing. The space of oneness. This blank canvas where we can create with our minds, where we can create thought into form. With another nice slow breath in and out, as the altar released into this beautiful light in all directions, taking a moment again to slowly and gently move through this space, looking in all directions, in front of you, to the right of you, to the left of you, even behind you, maybe above and below. the endlessness, the wholeness of this light that you are a part of. And one last step that we're going to move through here, one last invitation that we're going to move through, is to recognize that this space of wholeness includes our guides, includes our angels and our ascended masters. It contains Holy Spirit. And from this space of connection to all of this knowledge and all of this consciousness and all of this wisdom and support, we're going to take a moment, if you'd like to ask your guides for any support that they might want to offer you in this space. Welcoming any healing that they might want to offer you in this space. And maybe images start to show in this space, or maybe you get this sense of warmth moving through this space. Recognizing that these images may show up as symbols. Maybe they show up as the image of a person. Maybe you might hear some sounds, or maybe even see this light, this angelic light moving through this space. And also recognizing that as we extend this invitation to our guides for support, that it may be received as knowing. It might not come in as sounds or images. It might be coming in as frequency. Maybe it comes in as a sense of peacefulness or understanding. And from this space, again, can ask for guidance as we move through our days, going forward, asking for examples of support, asking for guidance to help us on our way as we go through our day and navigate our journey. And then slowly offering gratitude, appreciation to your guides and your support. Offering gratitude and appreciation for yourself for showing up today. To take time to nourish yourself, to nourish others. Giving yourself permission to be in a space of love and peacefulness. Thanking everyone that's with us here today, that's taken the time to bring peacefulness to their mind and their body. knowing as we bring balance and peacefulness to our own minds and bodies, we bring peacefulness and balance to this shared space of wholeness. And then with one last slow in-breath and out-breath, starting to bring yourself back into form. Starting to bring yourself back into the chair that you're sitting. Starting to bring more awareness to your body. And recognizing that even though we consciously took time to bring this healing light around us, this wholeness around it, us and around this space, that light is always present, always around us in all directions, even when we can't see it. And slowly again settling back in, starting to bring our awareness again to our body and to the surrounding room. And opening your eyes gently and slowly, observing the room around you. And noticing that in this space, we're going to take a minute to observe the room around you. Taking in the pictures, and you might notice that it feels a little dreamlike now as you sit in your space that you've sat in so many times. Get a sense of how your eyes are now picking up on maybe pictures or plants. And noticing how the space might feel a little bit different. And recognizing that even though your eyes might show you these pictures, that loving light, that healing light that you brought to yourself, that you imagined yourself in, is still around and within this space. That sense of wholeness never leaves, even if our eyes show us dividing walls, even if our eyes show us things that are separate from ourselves. Another nice slow breath in, maybe stretching that good old physical form a little bit. Oh, moving and shifting that beautiful vehicle that we're here traveling around in. Day to day, moving through time. Oh, I got warm cheeks. Holy Dana. Right? Oh, that nurturance, right? That we forget to invite into our space. Oh, stretching up. Oh, so there we have it. So I'm just going to sign off and thank anybody that might join us later.